Hi everyone, this is Menz here. I'm going to be playing World of Warships, and just before I hop into a battle, just looking at this is the profile page for now. There are certain levels where you kind of unlock as you progress, and you level up your account, which is nice. You start out, you only can play against AI for your first few battles. It's kind of the tutorial, but even after that you can still play against them. You just don't earn as much experience and credits as you would against other players. And then as you level up, you gain more of the game, so it kind of eases you into it. And then I haven't reached it in this beta phase yet, but I did before. Ship commanders, it's much like crews in World of Tanks. However, it's much better implemented, and it's very easy and rewarding to unlock more perks for your commander, and it's very nice. You can specialize your ship depending on what type of ship you're playing, and also what you want to play like, as far as what you want to specialize in. And then after those levels, they research into equipment in World of Tanks. They're called modifications here, and same way you can boost specific stats on your ship. Now, I'm going to be playing Tier 4 American Cruiser, and in a random battle here, standard battle, 2 flags, 1 on each side. Very important not to leave your flag too wide open later on in the matches, because you're going to notice that it's very hard to get back to your flag once you get going in World of Warships, much more than World of Tanks. And you also want to be very careful where you go, because you want to play as a team in World of Warships. You don't want to go out on your own, especially on larger maps. I found that a lot of the maps in this beta phase, I've only seen the smaller maps so far. I'm sure they're going to be adding the other maps I've seen, or they might be in here. I've just seen only small maps. Now, torpedoes, just looking down here, I always go with the small arc. I don't like them fanning out very wide, and there's no such thing as a friendly torpedo, so never shoot it when you think you're going to hit an ally, because you'll do a lot of damage to them and they will not be very happy. Since I'm the only ship out here to begin with, I'm actually going to be turning back on myself here. I don't care if the enemy takes a lot of the flank over here. I don't want to be caught at her on my own, especially against a Congo, because I will not last very long. Now I'm turning to hopefully turn away from me. Shots incoming. You always want to turn after the enemy shoots, but I had already started turning before that happened. These guys are a little closer. I'll take a shot here since that one guy's not moving. Although it looks like he was moving enough to where I completely missed him. Hardest part about World of Warships is leading ships, and if people know how to dodge shots by turning back and forth, it can be pretty difficult to hit a ship at far ranges. Now with torpedoes, I'm not going to use them at far range because it's kind of pointless. They're not going to reach, which I'm heading straight out of ally here, which we should be fine. We just barely missed each other. I should have paid a little bit more attention there, but my goal was to come on back here so I can get in behind the enemy in a way and try to cut him in half. I'm just hoping to set this guy on fire. I don't want to focus too heavily on him. You really have to play as a team and to kind of focus on the same targets in World of Warships, or else you're not going to get anywhere. It's just guys gonna learn that lesson. That's what I did not want to become, the person to kind of be out there to begin with. Oh shit, I cut off another person. I'm not doing very good this match. Usually I'm the one dodging people and not being the pain in the ass, but unfortunately I'm kind of driving a little retarded. Okay, so there's that weaker or damaged ship there, which I just missed them. And unfortunately I'm on fire now. I'm actually going to want to swap over to AP. But hopefully our team starts to group up. We're really spread out. But let's get out of his firing range and hopefully get this destroyer here. Yeah, crap, I shot a little high, but at least I got him.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Okay, here's that guy at long range. I'm just hopefully going to be able to dodge enough of these shots so I can wrap around this island. But I am cutting a little bit close here. But yeah, that side I saw was kind of lost. Usually the enemy has a lot of ships on that side starting out compared to your side. It's very difficult to be able to counter that. Which unfortunately he freaking nailed me with that last shot. It's this little destroyer coming my way. He might be firing some torpedoes, but I'm not too concerned about it yet. More concerned about this guy. Which, what the hell, if he's gonna be coming this way, I wanna keep him off of my ass as long as possible. But we're kind of behind here, so... Or actually we're a little ahead, but I'm definitely not ahead. So I need to be very careful, because I can take one more shot, and that's probably it. So let's try to dodge these incoming rounds. But they're definitely zeroing in on me. Yeah, I overshot that a bit. Shit, I need to keep turning left, Cody. No switcheroos here. I might be running into that island, but who knows. Be very nice if I can get a Citadel hit or something on one of these people. Because we need something big to give us a... yeah, I guess ran into that. I'm gonna be fucked here. Oh no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it! That's one thing that sucks, is when you see a shell coming at you and you run into the beach like that, you're kind of screwed. Now, part of the problems I was having is my zoom feature that I really liked in the previous beta phase. I could just hit shift and it would zoom in all the way. I would set it so it zoomed in all the way for me. Kind of like World of Tanks, where you can pop in and out of sniper view. It's not working for whatever reason for me. It just might be this beta phase, it's broken or whatever, but it's something that is annoying. I keep having to scroll in since it's changed. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. Now, I don't think they worked well together on purpose, but they did make those ships dodge that first set of torpedoes and kind of setting up that second guy. But torpedoes, a lot of people think they're overpowered. However, they're only overpowered if a good player is using them, and that's not a bad thing because it rewards you thinking ahead and kind of getting your opponents to go to where you want them to be. And looks like this guy at St. Louis, yeah, he's going to take a big hit there. Now, if you ever see a destroyer like this Congo, ooh, he just nailed him. That's one thing, you could always just blow him up. But say that destroyer kept coming at him. The Congo, best chance he has to not take a ton of damage is to start turning into him. So when the destroyer does fire his torpedoes, you're only going to get hit by one or two of them and not several of them. That'll cause a crap ton of damage. Now, as you see, it's even now. They're catching up. The problem we're having is they have 4 enemies in our base. We have 1, 2, 3 near their base, not really doing anything, which is very unfortunate because there's only one guy back there. And these guys down here, I know they're playing and they don't have a lot of HP, but our base is being capped, and comes a point where you either have to cap theirs or come back and defend your base. You can't just keep shooting away at enemies, especially when you're getting destroyed. But yeah, unfortunately in the beginning of the match, you kind of saw enemy team push real hard as a group up this side, and they were just nailing us. I kind of saw that, just based on where our ships start moving in the beginning, which is why I circled back, or else I would have died up here in the very beginning. And unfortunately, a lot of our ships just kind of hung back and didn't really do anything. World of Warships, usually the way matches play out for the winning team, your group forms about 4 or 5, maybe more ships go down specific side as a group, so you have good AA cover. You can support yourself and do a ton of damage to specific ships at any one given point. Now there are downsides where you leave other flanks vulnerable, and or torpedo bombers come in and there's several of you fumbling around. But it's really good to play as a team. If you go lone wolf, which I kind of did this match, I was kind of playing a little retarded. You are going to take a lot of damage like I did, because enemies will single you out and basically pick you off because you're easy prey. You're pretty much screwed if you go alone, but playing as a team, you want to focus on one flank and do a very good job at holding that flank. But at the same time, you don't want to let the enemy get into your base like they did here. They just kind of rolled right in here, because your carriers are pretty slow in most cases, and they're not able to escape in time. An enemy just kind of falls right in behind you and can take you out very quickly. Now, as a cruiser, battleships, they have a special skill where you can, pretty sure it's T, you tap T, and it repairs part of your hit points. You can use that a few times a battle. Now, cruisers, once you get to the higher tiers, they have a special ability where you tap it, and it increases your anti-aircraft capabilities, and you can do a ton of damage and take down several squadrons at every one point, depending on the ship. American cruisers have pretty good anti-air. Once you start getting, pretty sure it's tier 6 or tier 7, they start to get very good. Now, these bombers are coming in, but they might not make it. I have noticed that they decrease the capture time by a little bit, it seems like. And I mean increase, making it a little longer. But yeah, unfortunately, these two guys have stopped, and they're probably going to get whacked, but I think they're actually going to just make it. Yeah, they're just going to make it, and fortunately they won that one for us, because I certainly didn't. Yeah, I might have got quite a bit of credits and whatever, but I still didn't do that good, in my opinion. Yeah, I didn't do good at all. Just middle of the pack. But very nice that they added this in. It is detailed like World of Tanks, but I feel like it's a little less cluttered than World of Tanks. Alright, so do I want to play the Phoenix again or the Kawachi? I'll go with the Phoenix again, since I started out with it. Now, a lot of people are going to go with the battleships, of course, because they're gigantic. You have the Yamamoto at the end. But cruisers, while they're not as tough, and some people might think they're weak compared to battleships, they do have their pluses, especially when it comes to anti-aircraft abilities. And each team, you can't just win with just battleships. You can't just win with just cruisers. You need a nice little mix of them, and fortunately they do provide that. Now, matchmaker sometimes is a little funky, and you do get unbalanced teams like this sometimes, but at the same time, it does offset them with different tiers. Now, as you notice, unlike World of Tanks, the ships are not labeled as far as the tiers go in their order. They're based on the displacement, basically the size and the amount of water that they displace. That's also how hit points are calculated in World of Warships, which is nice because unlike World of Tanks, one of the best features of this game is if you're in a tier 4 ship against a tier 6, you do not feel completely helpless. You can actually have more HP at times than a higher tier ship if you have a larger displacement. And even though you're lower tier, yes, you're a little weaker overall compared to the tier 6, but you still have a very good chance of destroying that ship head on if you play correctly and play to your strengths and play to their weaknesses, because unlike World of Tanks, you can be in, say, a tier 5 KV-1 against a tier 7 Tiger 1 or KV-3. You have little to no chance of beating that tank head on if they're both somewhat competent players. Now, if you're against a very bad tier 7 player and you're very good into tier 5, I could see to where you will win that fight there. Now, once again, I'm kind of the first ship out here. I'm going to keep my distance at first. I don't want to screw myself by getting too far out here to begin with. Now, that is not a torpedo bomber. That's a dive bomber. They're a little harder to dodge, but at the same time, they don't always do as much damage as torpedo bombers, but they're still very, very deadly. So I'm not going to want to get out in front of these guys here, so I'm going to start pulling back and keeping my distance. Which this guy, he's definitely clear. Let's just lay a torpedo down for him. Since he fired a few, I might as well fire a couple just to keep these guys on their toes. That guy should be turning pretty sharply now. Which they fired their torpedoes, and this guy in front of me looks like he got whaled. And he's pretty screwed now. You never want to get that close to that amount of enemies, unless if you're in a very large group and nobody's paying attention to you. Want to keep an eye on the torpedoes coming in. I swapped over to AP because I'm hoping they get some good shots because they're not very fast. I know it's at far range and you're not really able to aim very well at that range, but at the same time, HE's nice, but it's not always worth it. You're not gonna destroy ships oftentimes using HE shells. You're just gonna burn them and basically piss them off. But if someone nails you with a good AP salvo, you're gonna feel it. Wonder if that guy's gonna run into him too. However, at this range, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to penetrate this Congo very well. But working as a team, we're not in a great formation like they are, but you don't always want that, because if you're too close together, you can run into a ship that is either destroyed or gets its rudder taken out and it can't steer properly, or a whole host of problems. And just kind of being in the general vicinity of each other really helps out, and often it can be better than being really close to each other and kind of coordinating that way. I gotta start paying attention to this Congo in the middle here. Although he's gonna be going behind an island. Although this Omaha looks like a pretty nice target if he's not. It looks like he might be turning around. Although these torpedo bombers kind of scare me here. Yeah, these guys are a little too close for comfort here. It'd be very nice if I can get him, but I don't think I'm going to be able to take him out with that shot I just took. So get myself turned around here. We're kind of falling behind, unfortunately. The only way we're going to be able to get back is if I can get a few nice shots on these guys on my side. The other side, I won't really be able to help out that much over there. I'm not really doing a good job at leading him. However, there is this Phoenix way back here. If I can get him with HE, that would be excellent. That's a big if, but that looks like it. Ah, crap. Nope. Just missed him. Although, yeah, those torpedoes look pretty well placed. Be able to take him out. But I got him before that.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
There's this goddamn Congo back here, though. He's inching towards our base. Need to get a nice hit on him to get ahead. But he seems pretty smart with where he's been putting him. Definitely need to get this guy out. Fortunately, when you start falling behind, it's a little difficult to catch back up. This little fellow. Just wanted to see where he would start turning. Yeah, that might get him. Unfortunately, no. Yeah, I kind of saw these torpedoes coming, but reacted a little too late. But I should be able to dodge them, it looks like. Uh-oh. Kind of overturned, but at least they stopped. They ran out of the range. See if I can get a good hit on him since he's just coming out of his turn. Now we are making up and we're almost tied right now because the enemies started to kind of separate themselves and weren't working too well together. So we still have a pretty decent chance of winning if we can get this Congo out. Now, as you can tell, World of Warships, the battles are definitely going to be longer than World of Tanks for most matches. And even though it's slower paced, there's still enough to do as far as steering your ship, leading targets, prioritizing anti-aircraft guns, where it's still pretty fun to play. You just really have to learn the ins and outs of all the little different systems that are part of World of Warships, because you can't, it's not just driving and pointing and clicking, even though it looks like that. Now, that Congo is actually smart. He started to realize that his friends got taken out, and he's going to head back to regroup with his team. Unfortunately, I'm not able to hit him though. But it'd be nice if we can get this Phoenix and Congo out. The Phoenix looked like he was coming to help the Congo, but didn't realize the Congo was going to run away, which was smart because he would have been destroyed if he didn't retreat. So yeah, we're still tied here, unfortunately, but we should be able to get this Phoenix out, and that other Congo's too far away to be able to help him. I was just going the wrong direction. Unfortunately, I wasn't really paying attention. Now, I mentioned in my other videos, something I like about World of Warships is, compared to World of Tanks, it's really well optimized, and I can run almost everything maxed out on this, except for a few little minor things where just turn them down because they're not very important, like post-processing and just a few filtering. But as you see, FPS, it's up there. It fluctuates a bit because it is still a beta, and certain things make it drop up and down, but for the most part, it runs very well compared to World of Tanks, which I know a lot of people get frustrated at because they'll have really good PCs and they'll be running, say, medium and low settings on a lot of things for World of Tanks. Okay, so let's close in here. We only have 6 minutes left, so it's going to be iffy as to whether or not we're going to be able to destroy these guys in that amount of time, because they kind of realized that they were starting to fall behind, which unfortunately we just lost our Phoenix here, and they started to fall back, which good tactic on their part, but there are a lot of draws in World of Warships because of that, since the maps are very large and you're capable of running away a lot easier. Okay, so we need to get in closer to be able to damage this guy. Just turning a little bit. I don't want him to be able to escape. Okay, so I should be able to start getting some good shots on him now. I'm close enough. Let's just hope he doesn't get a very good hit on my Citadel. Yeah, I'm not leading him too well. There we go. I should be able to finish him off with one more well-placed hit. And there we go.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
Now we're just left with facing off against two aircraft carriers, which unfortunately with Only about 3.5 minutes left. It's going to be tough for me to actually get over to that side of the map in time to be able to help out my teammate over there. But I'm going to try to go to the enemy cap and see what I can do. Now, I haven't taken a ton of damage, but cruisers, you kind of really have to play them carefully because you don't have the HP because your displacement's lower than battleships and armor of battleships, and you really have to rely upon your speed and your flexibility to be able to survive. Had I gone over into this little graveyard over here, most likely I would have died and I would have been out of this battle by now, but at the same time my team probably would have lost because the ships we have left now, we kind of hung back to work as a team and not just dive into the enemy ships and basically just kill each other off. Yep, I know that there's a aircraft carrier there. He's just hiding right behind this island. Saw him earlier. Now, you want to fire high explosive shells at aircraft carriers because they don't have a ton of armor, and once you set them on fire, they're unable to launch any additional planes. So I'm going to hopefully catch this guy off guard if I'm lucky. He might have moved, but usually they aren't very fast, but just judging by that one bomber there, he's still there. Granted, he probably knows I'm coming for him. But still, there's only a minute and a half, so unless they take both of us out right now, it's just going to be a draw. But win or lose, I really don't care. I'm just trying to go for this guy and see what happens. Sometimes people will be smart and they'll just launch torpedoes right at the point, so when you turn around a point, you have no choice but to hit the torpedoes and basically die, since at that point your side's turned to them and you're going to take several of them. There he is. And fortunately he moved, so I was hoping he'd be still and I could just nail him. He wouldn't be able to run away or not be set. He got set on fire. But one repair kit will fix that fire for him. So most likely, yeah, this is going to be a draw. My only hope was to catch him basically unaware I was coming for him. So overall, not a great match since it was a draw, but still did a decent amount for my team. Experience-wise, our Cleveland definitely did the best on our team, but I did my best. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and to find World of Warships articles and helpful guides to get you started, you can check out my website, menzgaming.com. Wakuru is still going to be World of Tanks content. However, for any World of Warships and other games I'm going to be covering, they're going to be on Menz Gaming. And there will be a link in the video description below. I hope you get into the World of Warships beta if you're interested. I know you can apply, and I'm sure they're going to close that down for a little bit and then open it back up to let more people in as the beta progresses. But it's certainly going to be a pretty fun game to play, since it's definitely been in development long enough and it's pretty polished and fun to play. It is a different pace than World of Tanks, but at the same time, it is its unique game, and it's done well enough to where I think it's going to be a very fun game for a lot of people. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for more videos coming up soon.